I want to say all praise to the Most High in Christ. We got a video here. I'm going to let someone else who we right here. We in the step. We in step with current with current. We're current in what's happening, and we want to let someone else tell you about the law. The same thing I've been telling you. Now they decide to tell. They have someone to come out here and decide to tell you what is the law, right? Concerning military authority and the Constitution being the law of the land. He's talking to the National Guard and the military about taking unlawful orders from people who are not in authority. Once they break the Constitution, then they descend their authority. They vacate their office. They're insubordinate, right? They insubordination. They commit insubordination. They're no longer employed by us. They are being terrorists toward us. And so he's showing the military where they have no responsibility to take orders from somebody who has descended from their employment, who have vacated their office. It means you quit your job. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to give commentary and a couple of scriptures to show you where we are, what this is all about. You know, a lot of people say, well, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. The people behind the curtain is running things. And, we're going to show you exactly what's going on and what has been going on since Daniel saw the ram and the goat, the two horns and then the horn in the center. We're going to show you what that all means today, in today's time, and what it was signifying to. The two horns were the Medio Persia, and the one horn in the center was the beginning of the world government, world rule of the Edomites. And it moved from the ram. We're going to show you how it moved, what it means today, what that meant. The horn in the center. You remember, the Greeks took out the Medio Persian, right? Medio Persians, they were the dark nations, right? They were the original, but the Greeks, they introduced, and we're going to show you through Jacob and Esau what that all means, and how you'll know who Esau is, and how you'll know that we're at the end of times through Daniel, Genesis 25 and 25, and Second Ezra. You get it. You get Second Ezra 7, Second Ezra 7, Second Ezra 6 and 7. Jacob grabbing Esau's heel. We'll show you what all that means in just a few seconds. It won't take long. Let's listen. Let's start off listening with this video.
Before I introduce our other speakers, I'd like to make a few comments. First of all, to the National Guards people who may be coming here to Chicago, we know that most of you do not want to be here. We know that you are regular working class folks, most of whom signed up for the Guard so that you could help people in national emergencies such as floods, such as fires, and so forth. And we recognize and we respect that. We also know that a lot of you sign up because, like many working class families, you need to have money for tuition, you need to have money for health care, to support your families. We also know that probably the vast majority of you not only don't want to be here, but think it's an utter waste of time, that probably well over $1 million a day would be spent on any deployment. And that's not counting the money spent and lost by individuals as well as businesses. So we have a message to you that is, if you are given illegal orders, you are under no obligation to follow them. Moreover, you should disobey those illegal orders. That is both your right and your duty, not only under the U.S. Constitution, but also under international law. And our about face and
Okay, we're gonna run that over again, but we're gonna talk about that again. But do you hear what he said? Illegal law, illegal orders, illegal order. How did they become illegal if the president is legal? Because the president descended from his position when he gave illegal orders, meaning he violated the Constitution, and he sent the military against the people who he worked for. It's simple. And didn't you hear I talked about international law is very important because international law is the checks and balances in place, is the office in place that makes sure all humans are being treated right, treated like humans, that they keep their godly rights because God set that up. God had to set it up. How could the people? How could the people? It's actually it's in continent. What am I saying? Cognitive dissonance, cognitive distance. Okay, thinking, the thinking. Cognitive distance is when you think you know what's right and wrong, but a you create a reason why you don't have to do wrong and why it's okay to do evil, right? To go against your thinking. You know something's right, but you want to, justify your evil doings. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. I got it now. I'm getting old. But yeah, so the cognitive distance is that the people don't matter. Only the government matter. Only the people that's in power matters. That's the cognitive dissonance. That's not right. So they set up, the people who think like that set up a office and created laws and to check themselves. That had to be God, right? They check themselves and say, well, we were wrong for the way we think, and so we're going to set up these laws. So if anybody want to come and use these laws to stop us, then we are with you. We got an office set up so when it get too bad, y'all can come and ring the bell like a safe word. These laws are the safe words. When the wickedness get too bad and is about to destroy all humanity, then this international law and governors will step in and say, "Hey, y'all wrong. Hold it. Stop it. We got to get these people out the ring, man. Got to throw them out the game. They destroying humanity." The Most High put that in their mind to set this up. So these are the laws of God, the international law, which says all humans have the right to reject government when they are destroying the very people who hired them to protect us and work for us. International law means the people are sovereign. You are individually sovereign. You do not have to go along with other people making laws that hurt you and your family and your dominion over your own life. Okay? That's simple. That's simple. Everybody should agree with that. Or you can unite, people can unite and say, we are all in one mind. This government is destroying our dominion, our right to govern our own lives, our God-given dominion, unalienable rights, inalienable rights, God-given rights, human rights. That's what that is, to live on the earth, and nobody has the right to overstep your boundaries because they don't feel comfortable with you living your life in your own territory, in your own space. God gave all of us. He divided the earth between all of us. Everybody has a right to have their own portion. And they can unite and make communities and call it their nation, their portions, unite their states, state of beings. And we have the right to call on international law and say, this is the check that we set in place to stop people, renegades. I'm gonna show you a renegade and where it all started with Daniel, with the ram and the goat. Okay, let's keep watching.
NLG folks will be speaking more to that in a second. But before I turn over the microphone, I'd also like to make a message to my fellow Chicagoans. And that is this. It is your constitutional right to be out here in the streets to express your outrage about this possible military invasion. It is your right that if you do not exercise it, you will lose it. It's like a muscle. If you do not exercise your rights, you lose them. My other message to my fellow Chicagoans is that you should reach out to the individual guards people. If you run into them on the streets, strike up a conversation with them. Say some of the things I just said a few moments ago, that they probably don't want to be here. They are being used as pawns by this president. They're being used as pawns, and you have not only a right but a duty to disobey illegal order.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Daniel's statute because Daniel's statute and the ram and the goat, and we're gonna go to Genesis 25, and we're gonna go to Second Ezra. Okay, we're gonna show you this law. This law is gonna show you the prophecy happening now and what this is about. We're gonna show you God setting up provisions for us to understand what's happening, because they would have you thinking that this is the potter's, this is designed by the potter. God designed all this, right? God said this, it must be God's will for us to be on the bottom, or be the white man to be in government over us. It must be good. It's good. If it's God's will, that means it's good. It's the law of the land. General Johanna and Nathaniel and all of them think that the UCC codes and this is the law of the land. What's happening now? Trump coup d'etat in the people, right? You think this is the law of the land? You gonna follow this? Okay. Well, let's go to Daniel. Okay, we'll start here in Daniel's 8:3. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but the one horn was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. The two horns were the Medo-Persia kingdom, and the one horn was the Greek kingdom, Alexander the Great, taking down the ram. Now, the ram represents the nations pushing against God, against the people of God and the laws of God. They're pushing, we don't want it. The Alexander the Great, he introduced a world government, a people that will destroy the people of God and take over the world through murder and death and killing. And not just a pushback, but a total annihilation of everybody who say they believe in the Most High God and try to keep those laws. We're going to show you real quick. We'll give you some visual aids right quick. First of all, we want to show you the statute. The statute was actually showing you a wide picture, an overall view of what this is all about. You see the captivities and everyone having a chance to rule the earth, right? He gave every wicked nation a chance to be in their heaven, right? Their heaven is they rule the earth. That's what heaven is. Heaven for a nation, heaven is you rule and you on top. You are on top, right, of rulership, right? So we see that the gold, silver, bronze, those are the metals. The metals are start off with gold, then you got a silver, then you got bronze is a more harder metal, more harder to take down. And then you got the king of the north, right? The king of the north would be the Romans. And they would mimic the Egyptian empire. The king of the north, they mimic the Syrians. Let's see. Yeah, let's bring it in a little closer. King of the north, solicited, saluted, Seleucid Empire. Syrians, that's the Edomites. The Syrian kingdom is Edomite. King of the south, Egyptians, Empire. Okay, the king, he called him the king of the south too. Wait a minute, is that the Greek? Yeah, that's the Greek. Yeah. Okay, so the Greek is from the uh let me see. Did I didn't get the dates on here. I got one with the dates on it. But see, we see where the Greek covers. All the way down to the thighs. The beginning of the knees, the legs, and the knees and the legs. That's the iron. That's the Roman kingdom. We'll get those dates. I got some dates right over here. And the Roman kingdom go all the way down to the foot, right? Antichrist. That's where we are now. Let's go. Okay, so let's look here. We see the Greek kingdom. The bronze kingdom is from the belly to the thighs. Chest and arms, that would be the silver. The gold is the head. Okay, so the leopard, the leopard. So we see the different other depictions of these kingdoms. So the head would be the lion, right? Daniel saw other visions too, and that's the Babylonian kingdom. That's from 600, from 605. See, it's going down 605 to 539. Medo-Persian is 639. Is 539 to 322. That's the Medo-Persia, right? That's the chest and the arms. Then you got the belly and the thighs, which would be the Greek. They would be from 332 to 63 BC, before the birth of Christ. Then you got the kingdom. A divided kingdom would be the beast with iron teeth and 10 horns, right? We all know, well, we probably all don't know what that is. Then you got, that's from the legs to the feet, from the top of the legs to the feet. That would be the Roman kingdom. But they call it the divided kingdom because it's Roman and Greek. It's the Greeks and the Romans, right? And they were not united together like these other kingdoms. They are divided now, like what we see the Europeans, how they are divided. They're all divided, right? Because you got Russia, you got China. They're all part of the Edomite kingdom. Remember, everybody that's in power after the Greek, starting with the Greeks, are going to be Edomites. Every government will be Edomites. Divided kingdom. They're in their heavens, right? And let me tell you something about these other kingdoms: the Babylonian, the Medo-Persian, the Egyptians. They're not in heaven anymore. They descended because these people, the Edomites, came into. They moved into their time. This is their time. Still Gentile time, but they are the rulers of these last two kingdoms. But they are divided. They are the same people. And the colored people, the cherry tree people, they are not in power anymore. Let's see. Moab and Moab and Ammon, Elon. Let's see. Egyptians, Africans, they are not in kingdom. They're not in their heavens. They're in the Edomites' heaven, which put them in hell. And that's why they all cater to the Edomites' jurisdiction and to their policies, because that keeps them above the lower part of hell, which is what we're in. We're in the lower parts of hell, right? We descended to the lower parts of hell because we were the top nation in power. We were under God. We was the third. We were second from the kingdom of God. We were in charge of the earth, of all heavens, under God. We were the heaven and leaders of the heavens under God. And when we broke the laws of God, we descended to the lower parts of heaven. Show you descending and rising from hell to heaven. Your heaven is when you're in rulership over the earth. That's your heaven. That's heaven and hell. Hell is when you're under rulership, under the highest rulership, right? So I hope we're getting that, man. We got to get that. We got to get that. You got to understand that. They taught that to us wrong. It's been real simple. It's real simple. The Bible teaches it. It's a simple teaching. It's a simple theme, linear logic from the beginning to the end. What heaven and hell is on earth. It's not what they taught us it was. It was a sleight of hands. It's for us not to for us to give up a desire to be in heaven, real heaven. So we think heaven. They say you get your heaven when you die. That's what they taught us in slavery. But everybody else, other nations, know that heaven is a status, right? It means you're in rulership. You're in your heaven when you're in rulership, top rulership in the earth. When your nation is in rulership, they are divided because every one of these Edomite kingdoms and every other nation, all the nations, they had a family, the head family, and they didn't treat the people right under them. None of the nations treated the world under them right. They all had to fall in line under a statute. If you wasn't a ruling family, then you couldn't be the top in heaven, so you were going to get the scraps from the king's table. All the nations. So the people who got the scraps right, got the leftovers out of the pot, they are, they in a better position than people that have to eat out the plates after the king get through eating. The servant can go eat the best parts that was left over. Then they throw all of that in a pot and give that to the people under them. And then after they get through eating, then the people in the lower parts of hell get to eat the garbage out of the garbage can, right? The scraps out of the scrap can. It's simple, man. Let's keep going. Where we at? I'm at 24 minutes already. Let's keep going. Okay, what I want to show you with this, the male goat magnified himself. That is depicting how Alexander the Great came in, and when he came in, he took down the black people's rule, right? Black people on the earth. That's Edomites. That's the Edomites taking over rulership of the earth. He magnified himself. And then conspicuously, the horn, the small horn, uh, uh, the small horn began to grow, and it grew up to host heavens, right? So from Alexander the Great, the Edomite power and rule and wickedness began to grow up to host the rulership on the earth. So you get it? That's Daniel 8. Okay, this is to give you an idea of the dates, right? There's some better dates, better visions of the dates. So check that out, stop it, and go through it. I explained it earlier. Okay, so we realize these people, again, we realize that we see the dark goat, the black goat with the two horns and the long horn. Now, the nations pushed against the laws and God. That was the original. That was the original crafty council. They pushed against us. The Edomites, when they got in through Alexander the Great, beginning at the Greek uh, world power, they said, "Okay, we're gonna destroy these nations. We took them. We're gonna take them down by taking the Medo Persians down. We take all the dark nations down." And in the process of after doing that, then everybody else automatically came under his feet because he grew in power, and and God let him prosper. He ruled the world, took the world. Esau's blessing, his curse. He killed everybody and took all position, all hierarchy. He built his heaven by destroying everybody else and setting us in the lower parts of hell, right? He destroyed everything on the earth that came up against him. Okay, we're showing you again that these people knew what they were doing. They know Bible prophecy. We look at another depiction of the goat, and the earth, ruling the earth. The goat, which is with the long horn in the center, two horns he took down, showing you where their rulership began with the two horns, which was Medo Persia, and them becoming rulers of the earth. These people knew exactly what they were doing, and they know now. They know exactly what they're doing and who they are and what their station is. They know this is their heavens. Okay? They know this is their heavens. They know. You see the pictures. You see the pictures. They drew this. They painted this. Okay? This was a good one too. This is a good picture here too. All right? Fair use. I want to say fair use because I meant to clear out any other names on this picture. But this is their picture, right? This is not my picture. I didn't draw this. I don't own this picture. Again, this is the vision of the ram and the goat. Okay. Uh this is not my picture. Fair use. Okay. They knew and they know. They know who they are and they know what they are predestined to do. Okay? Now you see the 7 horns and the 10 horns, right? Thank you, IUIC. Fair use. All right. We're in Daniel's again. Daniel's chapter 4, chapter 8, 4, verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward. The ram pushing westward, right? And northward and southward. That's coming to America, North America, west, going west, North America, and controlling South America too, and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Right? This is talking about the United States, the Edomites, Esau's people, right? Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hands. Nobody could deliver us. We always say, why? How come none of the nations came and said anything to Esau while he had us in captivity? The prophecy is they were too powerful. Nobody could deliver us out, and God wasn't going to let us because we had to stay in the lower part of the hell until the Gentiles' time played out. But he did according to his will and became great. We're talking about the Edomite kingdom from Alexander the Great until the divided kingdom of the clay and the iron. Okay? And at verse 5, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the he-goat had notable horns between his eyes, right? And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran into unto him in fury and power, and I and and I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler anger against him, and smote the ram and broke his two horns, and there was no more power in the ram to stand before, but he cast him down to the ground, that's the lower parts of heaven, and stomped upon him, and there was none that could deliver out of his hand. Now the ram, I'm thinking, is Israel, right? That's depicting Israel too. But it's also depicting the other nations in power. He took them down and stumped them down. So the original kingdoms, the original people who are in the lands that is called Russia, China, Japan, let me see who else, Europe, all of those original black people, Japhet and Japhet, Ham, and Shem, which would be Hebrew Israelites too, that he destroyed all of them and put them in lower levels of hell. This is his kingdom now. The earth is his. This is his heaven. He's in his heaven. The Edomites cannot go to heaven, our heaven, because they are in their heaven. They had their time to rule in their heaven. This is Esau's people, the Edomites, ruling the earth, right? This is what this is showing us. The Edomites are in their heaven now. They are not letting us rule with them. None of us, Moab and none of the other dark nations, your time is up to rule. You had your chance, and all of y'all cursed and mistreated the Israelites. So now, that's why the Most High in Obadiah and other passages, Joel, the Most High brought y'all down, and his indignation against you, he used Esau to destroy y'all and to keep us in captivity as chastisement. And at the end, Esau do not have a kingdom to rule in because he's already in his rulership, and all of you nations had a chance to rule. He gave y'all what he promised y'all. He promised that we would be a blessing to you guys, and we've been in slavery to you guys, homeborn slaves, for over 2,000 years. What else do you want? Ain't it time for us to be delivered? Ain't this the end time? Esau's rule is over. Okay, now I promised you I was going to show you one more indication that we are in the last time. People say Esau is not the white man. I'm going to prove to you that he is. Okay, and I'm proving to you, well, I might do one more quick scripture, and that's going to end it. Let's go here. Genesis 25 and 26. Let's go 25 and 25. Yeah. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. That's your first indication right there. If you can show me anybody else on this earth that fit that description, I'll eat my hat. Show me anybody else that fit this description right now. I'm gonna get deeper, because I ain't gonna eat no hat. Okay, right now on the earth, the only people that are red on the earth, different shades of red, all the way down to pink, are the Edomites, or the so-called white people on the earth. And verse 26, and after that came out his brother, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when he buried him. He was 60 years old. Okay, let's see. Why didn't it describe Jacob? Because Jacob was the color of everybody. Was the description fit everybody's general description on the earth? Why did it describe Esau as red? Because he's the only people on the earth that blood shows through his skin, had no melanin. That was the mark, same mark that he put on Cain. That's a mark. Edomites and all, you go and you look all through. No melanin is a mark. It's an indicator of who you are. God did this to you. That's a mark. Ain't gotta be no. When Christians thought, oh, it must have been a scar on his head. No, the mark starting from your head, where you are uncovered from your head to your toe. That's a mark. God marked you. He identified you. That's a mark. Okay, so we're gonna go on. You get that, and let's read. Let's read this. Let's read this. Everybody know. Uh, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went and inquired of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, two nations shall be in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Okay, two manner of people. They were fighting. That was an indication that they were going to be fighting at the end times. They were going to be in opposition, and two different kind of people. We were always going to be separated. What separated us? The laws of God. I'm going to show you that in just a second. Okay, Jacob holding on to Esau's foot. We saw that. So now, okay, now we're going to show you what the significance of Jacob grabbing Esau's heel was. It was an indicator that would show us, that would indicate to us the last days, right? So we see in Second Ezra, which also in Second Ezra show us that it's in canon, it's in the linear line of logic with the Bible, right? Second Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting of asunder of the times? How shall we understand the times of when the end will be? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of the following? The end of the first is the rule of the Edomites, their heaven, and the beginning of that which follows. They knew that we were going to be restored back into our kingdom, because in all of the first five books, the prophets prophesied of the restoration of Israel, right? So, and he said unto me, from Abraham to Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held Esau's heel. He said, remember that? Remember the story about Jacob grabbing Esau's heel? He said, and he said, this is what that means. He said, Esau is the end of the world. The world. That's another world. The end of the world. World meaning the rulership of Esau's and the Gentiles ruling their world. There's two different worlds, right, concerning people. Esau went one way, Jacob went another way. Esau supported the Gentile rulership from from the Babylonian Empire, the Syrian Empire to Medio Persia. Esau was there helping them to further their kingdom, their rulership, because he knew his was coming. It was prophesied. Knew Alexander the Greek knew what his destiny was because he read it in the scriptures. Okay? Let's see. So Esau knew and he supported the nations as they ruled, and he knew his time was coming, and he knew he was going to rule by the sword and take everybody else down because we were already down. We were already down. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that which follow. And the hand of the man betwixt the heel and the hand, the heel and the hand. The hand of the man betwixt the heel and the hand. And no more questions Ezra asked. He was finished. He understood. He got the message. Okay, real quick. The edition of Esther. I'm showing you what these people are thinking, what that long horn, that progressive ruler that took Esau's blessing, Esau's people, the Edomites. This is what they were thinking. This is what they are thinking. And we're going to go ahead and read it real quick. I put it here so if you read faster than me, you can go ahead and read it. Let's read it. The fourth verse. Declared unto us that in all the nations throughout the world, the Edomite nations, were scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations, because they kept the policy of Esau, kill with the sword, right? Rule by the sword, and continually despised the commandments of the kings, so as the uniting of our nation, the uniting of our kingdom honorably, they think they're honorable, intended, they meant to be honorable, they intended to be honorable, by us cannot go forward. Jacob's got Esau's heel. Esau can't go no farther. When the time comes for him to come down, he can't move any farther. That's where they're at now. They can't go forward. Seeing then, we understand that the people alone is continual. The Israelites are continually in opposition. The Israelites are continually in opposition unto all men. All men mean everybody in their kingdom. When Trump said, let's make America great, when they make laws and say this is, they're not talking about the people in the lower parts of hell. They're talking about the people in the ruling kingdom. That all people alone this people alone, talking about the Israelites. Seeing then that we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in the strange matter of their laws. And that's what the problem is, their laws. The only difference we have is their laws, right? That's the only thing we hate them for. That's the only reason why we don't like them, because they keep coming back to these laws God gave them. And evil, effective in our state. They're evil against us because they're stopping us with these laws. They keep bringing people back to their godly conscience. They're waking people up. They're making our people see that we are the devils. These laws are against us. They're exposing us, working all mischief they can working all mischief they can, that our kingdom may not firmly be established. Therefore have we commanded that all they that are significant in writing unto you by a man who is ordained over the affairs, and it is next unto us, shall all with their wives and children be utterly destroyed by the sword of the enemy, without any mercy and pity, the 14th day, the 20th of the month, that they who of old and now also are malicious may in one day, with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affair to be well settled in trouble. So they say in one day they want to get rid of all of us. That's the ram progressing, destroying. Remember, we showed you that the ram intention is to cut us off from being a nation, right? They had us in slavery. That was cool. But then we kept persisting and waking up the rest of the earth, showing that these people were Edomites, and they want to destroy anybody who think godly, anybody who want to live in peace. The National Guards, they get all their armies and National Guard and say, we can't let these people live in peace. They're not. We want to keep our rulership. So in one day, let's get rid of them. But they're not thinking right, and they dug their own grave, right? Because they said in one day, let's kill them all at one time. But the Most High said, okay, you just named your own death. In 1 hour, am I going to send missiles over here to destroy your whole kingdom over here? 1 hour, this whole place from the northwest to the southwest, going to be destroyed with nuclear warfare. You did it to yourself, you damn dummies.
That a lot of you sign up.
So we're going to listen to a little bit one more time. We just to get back, stay on track of what this conversation is about. We went through, it was long, but please like and share. Fair use again, like and share. Get it to your people so we can understand. We get everybody on one accord to understand, so, we can't stay divided like this. Yeah, we ain't going to make it divided. We see Esau couldn't make it divided, and so the people who will ascend to heaven, to eternal light, we got to unite and come out and stop thinking, and we got to stand against this nation, against these terrorists, these people, foreign aliens, who now you say you had them employed, you was voting for them, you employed Donald Trump and everything, but he has turned against you and he's turned his horn on you. This man right here is a witness to that. He's showing you how to get out of it. You're not in trouble. If we take them down, you can get out and turn against the people who's giving those wicked orders, unlawful, because they're no longer in authority. Once they descend, once they vacate their office and go against the people who hired them, then they're no longer working for us. They're terminated their own employment. So calling out to everybody who can hear, white, black, green, purple, Israelite, Edomites, we got to stop. We got to come together to bring this down. That's prophecy. It's going to happen whether you're involved or not. What side of the line are you going to be on? All praises to the Most High.